In the late Jurassic period, an epoch stretching for tens of millions of years, witnessing a spectacular explosion of biodiversity and the undisputed reign of colossal reptiles. The world was a vibrant yet incredibly harsh tapestry. Earth's landscape then was vastly different from what we know today. Red grasslands glowed fiercely under the primordial sun, shaped by the distinctive flora of the Jurassic. Vast cycad forests, with gigantic trees reaching for the sky, formed canopies that covered the entire firmament, beneath which lay a humid and mysterious world. Interspersed were colossal swamps, winding rivers, and tranquil freshwater lakes, yet all concealed countless dangers. Amidst this magnificent and wild backdrop, one name became an obsession, a living nightmare for any creature daring to wander into its territory: Allosaurus. It was not merely a predator. Allosaurus stood as the pinnacle of the food chain, an embodiment of the most brutal instinct and cunning, honed over millions of unforgiving years of survival. Becoming a vivid legend of the Jurassic, Allosaurus was not only impressive in its colossal size, but was also a masterpiece of predatory evolution, a perfect design for its role in the ecosystem. With a massive body, reaching lengths of about 8 to 12 meters, sometimes even larger individuals being discovered. It stood as a moving mountain, each step creating a slight tremor in the ground. Its weight could range from 2 to 4 tons, a formidable mass of muscle and bone, optimized for both power and speed. The teeth of Allosaurus were deadly weapons, razor-sharp, each capable of growing up to 10 centimeters long, arranged not only for tearing flesh but for gruesomely crushing bone, inflicting fatal wounds. Unlike the T-Rex with its immense crushing bite force, Allosaurus utilized its jaws more like a hatchet, slamming down onto its prey, creating deep gashes and delivering powerful shock. Its powerful hind legs, bulging with muscle, not only provided stability during an attack, but also allowed it to achieve astonishing speeds in sudden bursts, fast enough to chase down even the swiftest herbivores like Dryosaurus or even vulnerable juvenile Stegosaurus. Notably, its skull was adorned with unique small ridges or bony crests above the eyes, giving it a fierce appearance and possibly used for display of power or recognition among its kind. This, combined with its cold, golden, sharp eyes, confirmed that it was not merely a predator, but the undisputed dominant force in the Jurassic ecosystem. Its majestic and terrifying presence was an unspoken warning to all other creatures. From the moment it hatched, each young Allosaurus faced a world fraught with peril, a brutal school of survival where only the strongest and most cunning could graduate. They not only had to learn to protect themselves from other larger predators like Torvosaurs or even from aggressive adult allosaurs of their own kind, who were known to be cannibalistic, but also had to forage for food in a harsh environment where every meal was a desperate struggle for life. The survival rate of juvenile Allosaurus was incredibly low, with only a tiny fraction making it to adulthood, accumulating experience, and becoming apex predators. The maturation process of Allosaurus was a long, arduous journey of learning and adaptation, with every deep scar etched onto its body serving as living proof of life and death battles, every injured bone healing and growing stronger. Allosaurus gradually perfected itself into an efficient and terrifying killing machine. It mastered the art of stealthy stalking, patiently hiding in the shadows of ancient cycad forests, beneath the cool shade of a towering cliff, or within a murky river bend, awaiting its moment. From these perfect hiding spots, it could suddenly launch a surprise attack on its prey with terrifying speed, transforming the victim's moment of peace into a horrifying, inescapable nightmare. Every wound, every challenge forged a more perfect assassin, a more seasoned warrior. The sensory capabilities of Allosaurus extended far beyond mere sight. Its vision was not just keen enough to detect the slightest movement at great distances, even in the dim light of dawn or dusk. Its sense of smell and hearing were also astonishingly developed, transforming it into a sophisticated biological sensor of its environment. It could detect the heavy, labored breathing of its prey through the dry, hot air, carrying the scent of fear and exhaustion. It could hear the cautious, wary footsteps of herbivores in thick undergrowth, even as they tried to move as carefully as possible to avoid detection. And even more terrifying, it could scent blood from afar, an undeniable signal for an easier meal, a wounded, weakened, or dying prey. This superior sense of smell made it a relentless hunter, always tracking the scent of weakness and despair, never missing any opportunity nature presented. The combination of these senses created a comprehensive hunting system, making Allosaurus an almost insurmountable adversary. As dusk slowly descended, painting the landscape golden with the last rays of sunlight filtering through the needle-like leaves of ancient cycads, casting long eerie shadows on the ground, and the wind whistling through the fossilized tree trunks, creating an ethereal sound, signaling the transition between day and night, Allosaurus began to execute its hunting strategy. This was the time when many herbivores started seeking shelter or preparing for sleep, their vigilance potentially lowered. It emerged from its hiding place, moving with astonishing lightness for such a massive creature, almost silently. Muscles rippled beneath its thick skin like sap winding around a tree trunk. each step meticulously calculated, gradually closing in on herds of grazing dinosaurs like Stegosaurus or Camarasaurus, feeding or drinking near the riverbank. The silence before the storm became breathtakingly tense. The air itself seemed to thicken. In that moment, it coiled its muscles, its eyes flashing with a cold, primal gleam, reflecting intense focus, an ancient predatory instinct. Then, a horrifying lightning-fast lunge. Chaos erupted. The echoing roars of the victim, the ground trembling under the panicked stomps of the herd trying to escape, and blood splashing, staining the surrounding vegetation crimson. It was a brutal dance of life and death, a raw, uncompromising primeval spectacle. Allosaurus did not just attack weak or smaller prey. It was also a brilliant strategist, intimately familiar with its environment and the behavior of its prey. It knew how to choose the perfect moment when prey was injured after a skirmish, exhausted from a long journey, or separated from the herd, making them easier and less risky targets. And when the harsh dry season arrived, a major challenge for all creatures in the Jurassic, when water sources became scarce and rivers dwindled into muddy puddles, when herbivores gathered around the last drying waterholes, jostling for life, that was when Allosaurus was most dangerous. Dry leaves rustled underfoot, dust swirled in the heavy, arid air, the timid footsteps of tens of thousands of creatures vying for water. Allosaurus appeared as a colossal shadow, a nightmare observing every desperate breath and step of the thirsty. It knew that in such moments of crisis, the survival instinct pushed to its limits would cause prey to make mistakes, to drop their guard, and it would never miss that golden opportunity. This patience and shrewd strategy made it one of the most effective predators. But the natural world of the Jurassic was not solely about blood and absolute horror. Even Allosaurus, the embodiment of brutality, had moments of rest. When it lay stretched out beneath the shade of ancient trees, its back covered in jagged bony plates reflecting the blinding sunlight, creating an image both majestic and terrifying, yet also serene. Or when it tilted its head back to roar, a challenge to a rival predator, like a Ceratosaurus or even another Allosaurus, asserting its absolute territory and dominance. All these images combined to create a creature that was both frightening and powerfully vital, a wild symbol of primal power, of uncompromising existence in a pristine world. It was an indispensable part of the ancient ecological tapestry, a rough yet magnificent gem, a crucial link in the food chain, maintaining the balance of an entire complex ecosystem. Its existence was a testament to nature's perfection in creating survival machines. However, even this nightmare had its weaknesses, and no creature is immortal in the ironclad laws of nature. No matter how powerful, Allosaurus also faced its own perils and challenges. When severely injured, after a fierce battle with a large prey animal like a Brachiosaurus, when it lost a crucial tooth, severely impacting its hunting ability, when it suffered prolonged starvation due to scarce food resources, or when its habitat drastically changed due to natural disasters like volcanic eruptions or floods, even Allosaurus could become a victim. It could be hunted by a larger pack of adversaries, or simply perish from deprivation, disease, old age, or accidents. Frail, sick, or injured individuals could become prey for smaller predators, or simply die from lack. But it was precisely these wounds, these incessant struggles, that etched its tragic beauty. An astonishingly powerful creature, yet not immortal, forced to live in a world where survival was a daily, hourly challenge. Every scar on its body was a story of struggle, of a challenge overcome, or a brush with death. Allosaurus, the Jurassic nightmare, was not merely a predator, a link in the food chain. It was a magnificent symbol of the matrix of life and death, where untamed wildness, ever-present death, primal instinct, and the rawest, most authentic beauty of nature were laid bare, untouched by human intervention, unaltered by civilization. The story of Allosaurus is a powerful testament to the resilience of life, the brutality and fairness of natural selection, and the delicate yet eternal balance in a lost world where true giants once reigned supreme. On Earth it remains forever a reminder of an era where power and adaptation were the only keys to survival.